I want to read to you a favorite of mine for this holiday season. The Velveteen Rabbit. I've been wanting to read it since last year. Finally getting around to it. To share it here. For all the kids. And the kid in all of us, and the Velveteen Rabbit in us, and the Velveteen Rabbits in our lives. Let's begin. Based on the story by Margery Williams. Looks like the author is Komako Sakai. I love this version too with the illustrations. See the little chalk painted bunnies already appearing. Yeah, got it from my favorite used online bookstore, and this is definitely my favorite version. It was like the only one left. So we begin. The Velveteen Rabbit and the stockings. In the beginning, the Velveteen Rabbit was truly splendid. He was fluffy and plump, and his ears were lined with pink satin. He looked very sweet as he peeked out from the Christmas stocking with a sprig of holly. The boy who received the rabbit as a gift was delighted. He hugged and patted his rabbit while playing and talking with him. He did for almost 2 hours. But when his uncles arrived with new presents, the boy lost himself in the excitement and forgot about his Velveteen Rabbit. Close when he first began to play with this little rabbit. The little rabbit spent his time in the toy cupboard or the corner of the nursery. There he met the many toys that lived in the room. The expensive toys and the mechanical toys often said, "I am real." They boasted about themselves and snubbed the rabbit for being made of mere cloth. The Velveteen Rabbit felt ashamed and hid himself timidly in the corner. They told him he wasn't real. Poor little rabbit. The only one that was kind to him was the skin horse. Of course, horses, so beautiful. Even the toy ones. He was the oldest in the nursery and looked shabby and afraid, but his eyes gleamed wisely. Everyone talks about being real, but what is real anyway? Asked the rabbit one day. Does it mean you move and have a key to wind you up? No, that's not real, said the skin horse gently. Real is a thing that happens when a toy has spent a long time becoming a child's true friend. When a child cares for you, not just to play with you, but loves you from the heart, then you become real. Even if you're old and tattered by then, it doesn't matter. You too can become real, young fellow. In the nursery, magic happens from time to time. There he is talking. His little friend. There was a nursemaid called Nana in the boy's family, like my Nana. The toys were afraid of her because every so often she did what was called tidying up. Once it began, the toys were souped up and thrown into the cupboard. One evening, Nana noticed that the toy dog the boy always slept with was missing. What a bother, she thought. Then she quickly snatched the Velveteen Rabbit from the cupboard. Here's your little bunny, she said to the boy. You can sleep with him from now on. And she put the rabbit into the boy's arms. From then on, the rabbit slept in the boy's bed every night. At first, he found it rather uncomfortable and stifling, and he missed the cupboard where he could talk with the skin horse. But soon he grew to like being with the boy. The boy was always kind to him and made him a rabbit's burrow under the comforter. There they chatted in whispers endlessly. When the boy fell asleep, the rabbit snuggled up to the boy's cheek and had pleasant dreams. And there they are. Spring came and they went out into the garden to play. The boy and the rabbit were always together. The rabbit was offered rides in the wheelbarrow, tea in the afternoon, and a lovely tiny cottage was built for him under a raspberry thicket. Gradually, he became grimy and muddy. But he didn't mind at all because he was happy every day with his friend. Once, when the boy was suddenly called to go on an outing, the rabbit was left out in the garden. Nana came to look for him after dark, holding a lamp in her hand. This scruffy bunny is indeed a bother, she muttered. All this fuss over a toy because the little one can't go to sleep without it. She rubbed the dirt off the rabbit with her apron. What's so special about this dirty old toy? She grumbled. Stop it, Nana, exclaimed the boy. He isn't a toy, he's real. The Velveteen Rabbit was overjoyed. I am real, he thought. I have become real. He was so happy to sleep so peacefully that night. Since the boy stood up for him and claimed him as real. Because he loved him truly. It was a wonderful summer. Behind the house there was a wood where the boy, woods, we'll say, funny the way it's written, where the boy could take his rabbit and play for hours. The boy always placed his rabbit carefully on the grass before running off to pick flowers or play bandits. One day when the Velveteen Rabbit was sitting by a tree, as he always did, he saw two strange things emerge from the ferns. They were rabbits, just like he was, but with no seams, and their bodies stretched and shrunk when they moved. I wonder where the keys are to wind them up, he thought, as he stared at them in amazement. First we see right there the boy and the little rabbit, and there he is back there looking in amazement at these two real rabbits, live, real and alive. our terms. I'm gonna do a close up and you can see him too. His little face. Looked a little shocked and a little sad. Why are you sitting still? One of them asked. Why don't you come along and play with us? I don't really feel like playing, said the Velveteen Rabbit anxiously. He didn't want them to find out that there was no key to wind him up. You're an odd one, said the other rabbit. Look, can you hop like this? He gave a big hop. I can, mumbled the Velveteen Rabbit. I can hop really high. What he didn't want to say was his hop only happened when the boy tossed him. So he said, I just don't feel like it right now. Oh, little baby, he looks sad. Not knowing what to say. And there they are, just staring at him, wondering why he seems so odd. Time passed. Oops. Lost the page. The wild rabbits began to whirl around in a dance. Come on, they called. Come dance with us and show us your hop. The Velveteen Rabbit was about to cry. How can I dance like they do? He wondered hopelessly. Suddenly, one rabbit stopped dancing and put his face right up to the Velveteen Rabbit's. He smells funny, he said. This isn't a real rabbit. I am real, cried the Velveteen Rabbit. The boy said so. Just then, the crunch of the boy's footsteps could be heard. In a flash, the two wild rabbits were gone. There they are, harassing the poor little rabbit. Come back, please, the Velveteen Rabbit called after them. I am real. Even though he was uncomfortable, he wanted to show them, prove to them that he really was real. But the wild rabbits never returned. And there he was, all alone. Confused about the harsh words that were spoken to him. Really marked him. Time passed. The Velveteen Rabbit grew old and became even dirtier and shabbier. He was so shabby that in many people's eyes he hardly looked like a rabbit anymore. But to the boy, he was as beautiful as ever. And that was enough to make the rabbit happy. He knew that being shabby didn't matter because the magic of the nursery had made him real. Here we are, happy together. Then one day, the boy fell ill. He had a high fever and slept day after day. Strange people came into the nursery, and the light burned all through the night. The rabbit clung to the boy, hiding under the comforter. He was careful that he wouldn't be found and taken away. When no one was in the room, he crept up close to the pillow and whispered in the boy's ear. He told the boy things that were fun and exciting. He talked about the wonderful days that they had spent in the garden among the flowers and the butterflies, playing together under the raspberry thicket. After a long, weary time, the boy's fever finally went down. And there he is, comforting him. He was ill, getting better. He's comforting his friends. One bright sunny morning, the windows to the nursery were opened wide, and the boy was carried out onto the balcony. The next day he would be going to the seaside and would stay there until he was well again. "Hooray!" cried the rabbit. "We're going to the beach!" The rabbit was delighted. He couldn't wait to see the big waves and the tiny crabs that the boy so often talked about. It was at that moment that he heard the boy's doctor talking to Nana. "You must disinfect the whole room," said the doctor, "and burn all the books and toys that he played with." "How about his old bunny?" asked Nana. "That's a mass of germs," said the doctor. "Burn it right away. You can always get a new one." Harsh for the bunny. There he is, probably heard the whole thing. The Velveteen Rabbit had never thought of such an end. He was put into a sack and carried out to the end of the garden to be burned with the other toys and books the next day. The boy had forgotten him in the excitement over going to the seaside, shivering with cold. The Velveteen Rabbit stuck his head out of the sack and looked around. He could see the black silhouette of the raspberry thicket, under which he had played with the boy on balmy spring days. "I wish I could go back to that wonderful time," he thought, and the beautiful memories almost broke his heart. Why should it all end like this for me, for someone who had been loved so much and became real? A tear, a real tear, trickled down his cheek and fell to the ground. There's the nightfall. Dark, pitch black night. As he shivered in the cold. Then a strange thing happened. From the ground where the tear had fallen, a sprout of a flower came out and quickly grew. Soon the flower opened, and from inside a beautiful fairy appeared. "Little rabbit," she said, "do you know who I am?" The rabbit was so stunned that he forgot about crying and gazed at her in wonder. "I am the fairy of the nursery," she continued. "I take care of the toys that the children have truly loved. When their time comes and they have to say goodbye, I come for them and make them real." And there she is, making the forgotten toys that have had to be departed with real again. "But I'm already real," said the rabbit. "You were real to the boy because he loved you." "Very much he did," said the fairy. "Tonight, I will make you real to everyone. Everyone else, that is." She gently kissed the rabbit on his nose. His little nose. "Now, you shall become real to all." And there, with her magic spell, she made him real to everyone, so that he would never have to feel unreal again. And he thus became really real, like the humans kind of real, where he actually looked, felt, and moved like all the others. So of course he joyfully jumped back, racing to find those other rabbits to show them because he was so happy and proud that he was not real and he could not play